artistry and craft converge. Art must revolt against mere representation to channel the inward spirit. Embracing this revolt, I immerse myself in the spirit of the artist, each drawing a visceral act, where craft becomes a rebellion, giving form to new possibilities. In the heart of Mpumalanga, along the old transport wagon route, lies the hamlet of Wonderfoy, 17 kilometers north of Carolina, a small mining town. Here, remnants of a forgotten history are slowly being reclaimed by nature. Once, this was a place where roads converged, where travelers exchanged mail, rested, and gathered. The story begins with Tom and Charles, two English immigrants who set up a trading store amidst the backdrop of war. Charles remained neutral, and their trading post flourished. It was here that Bertha, a renowned landscape artist, came to collect her mail. Charles, struck by her beauty, declared, "So early and so beautiful, I will her wed." And so they married later that year. This marked the beginning of the Everard legacy, a testament to women who defied the conventions of their time. The heritage is now at risk. The site is crumbling. The existing structures found on the site include the chapel, the hotel, the kraal, and the horse stables, all stand as ghostly remnants. And the Everard mansion, where Bertha laid the foundations herself, housed Joe Slovo and Ram Fisher as they fled to Swaziland during apartheid. However, there is an opportunity to restore and adaptively reuse Wonderfoy structures, empower women affected by the Carolina mining area, and ignite a visceral revolt, a reclamation of Wonderfoy's cultural fabric in collaboration with Action Aid South Africa. This vision operates on three levels. The private, reconnecting women with personal artistic experiences to reclaim their autonomy. The ethical, empowering women to make thoughtful decisions for themselves. Integrating ecofeminist theory and art emancipation to create new avenues for empowerment. This brings us to the central question. How can a possibility pavilion, inspired by the Everard woman's way of life and guided by ecofeminist art emancipation theory, be designed to open venturesome opportunities for women in mining areas, offering them paths beyond conventional means of empowerment? An anamorphic drawing distorts the image of the trading store, but when viewed through the glass tube from the correct angle, it reveals the image in its true form. In the same way, the pavilion will offer women a space to redefine their perspectives. Bertha's paintings used intense colors, the extracted pigments, shifting colors, revealed nature's untapped potential, and so this project aims to awaken those possibilities, offering women opportunities beyond their imagination. Tete-a-tete fosters intimacy and reflection, creating a silent dialogue between artist and the artwork, old and new. Bertha's belief that art must revolt and channel an inward spirit resonates here. A place of spiritual reckoning becomes a sanctuary for Bertha's bold extrusions. Reminiscent of her process, she would choose remote landscapes, instructing laborers to carry her canvas and her easel to secluded spots, enduring all weather to capture her vision. Along the elevated walkway to the existing chapel, the assembly of the temporary timber structure with ETFE fabric begins by anchoring timber posts to concrete pads with expansion bolts. The timber frame is bolted together with stability provided by tension cables secured diagonally. Fabric is stretched over the frame, a light transmitting cover, leading to the chapel with a narrow doorway that conceals and reveals, bridging the interior and the vast landscape, reminding visitors of their own hidden depths. Here, art stirs intimate revolts, a passage of new realms of possibility and a place of reflection. Bruce Lee's belief that art is the true medium for asserting autonomy shapes the concept of autonomous I, where the design aligns with the site. Rather than imposing itself, it emerges from it. The existing hotel structure gently detaches from the ruin, visceral inception. Transitioning from slate stone to weathering steel, a quiet revolt emerges, allowing reflection and engagement. A plywood portal frame is assembled on site with pre-cut timber components, bolted or screwed together. Once assembled, the frame is lifted into position using a crane or manual equipment. Edge pylons are mounted vertically on the frame, followed by the cotton steel corrugated sheeting attached with roofing screws. And so the reception and administration area guides the visitors to the reclamation atelier. Formerly a humble trading store, the spirit of transformation lives on, a space where hidden conflicts and aspirations take shape. Bertha's art, born from inner struggle, reveals her conviction. Here, a clay and art workshop where women channel their hardships into creation. The Reclamation Atelier is a clay workshop featuring existing stone slate walls. The mezzanine boxes are suspended from trusses supported by the IPE section columns fixed by the trusses. To prevent sway, square hollow sections are placed between the mezzanine boxes, ensuring structural stability and strength for the suspended elements. As the structure pushes past the surface to reveal depth, resilience and reclamation emerge, where art is born not from peace but from the tenacity to shape something enduring. A space dedicated to embodying the spirit of the artist, revolt and reverie, visitors encounter intimate moments, face-to-face with others, immersed in artwork, engaging in private conversations with their inner selves. Here art becomes a mirror in the gallery, allowing visitors to reflect on diverse creative expressions and explore the spectrum of possibilities. The gallery follows the pathway leading to the historic Blue Gum Avenue, where Charles and Bertha walk daily with their dog. And now, a central datum of the Bonnefoy site, the stone walls anchor its history, an experiential walk and seating space that invites visitors to reflect on self-emergence and the environment. From the quiet of the Blue Gum Avenue, where leaves softly rustle, forms diverge and shift, embodying a tension between blending with the context and asserting an independent identity, leading to the eco-cultivation workshop, a space where women are taught sustainable practices, cultivating a deeper connection with the land and nature. Through cultivation, themes of emergence and autonomy arise, while the architecture reveals the land's hidden possibilities. The eco-cultivation workshop is a timber structure attached to the stone wall of the kraal. The attachment is achieved by drilling holes into the stone wall, with galvanizing base plates fixed to the wall using chemical anchors, and a sealant is applied around the base plate to ensure waterproofing and prevent water ingress, directing towards the artesian gallery, a communal space for storytelling. It disrupts the datum line, integrating with the existing Blue Gum Avenue. This interaction merges aesthetics and ethical experiences. The artesian gallery is an elevated timber walkway supported by gum-pole posts at a 3-meter grid. Fletch beams designed to embrace the gum trees, and the decking made from treated hardwood ensures durable and long-lasting structure that blends with the natural landscape. The stable of craftsmanship. With the existing horse stables empowers women through hands-on woodcraft and construction. With the artistry, there must be craft. The movable reed panels and roof structure symbolize self-emergence and the space and how the space evolves. Women will actively participate in construction, learning how to treat bamboo and wood against fungi and insects. The gravity grocery method treats bamboo by placing it in a tank with a preservative, usually boron-based solution. The bamboo absorbs the solution through capillary action, ensuring protection from insects, fungi, and decay, as well as concrete techniques using slag from nearby mines, equipping them with practical skills that foster independence and self-expression. The Everard Mansion, restored to its former glory, offers an artist's residency and opportunity to live in the spirit of the Everards, connecting deeply with the landscape that inspired them. In return, artists will give back to the community, imparting valuable skills and inspiring a collective revolt against limitations. Inspired by the Everard's pragmatic way of life and through principles of ecofeminism and art emancipation, the Possibility Pavilion is not just receiving history, but igniting a new revolution, a revolution of thought, perception, and empowerment. And so the Everard legacy will endure, and the women of Bonnefoy will lead with uplifted spirits, transformed by the belief that the impossible dreams they once held are now within reach. Thank you.
That's the bit I like the most. And if I look at the technical drawings, what strikes me so strongly is the different kinds of drawing, like exploded drawings, three-dimensional drawings, planimetric drawings, which also matter, the sections matter because they're descriptive, steady joints and so forth. And then there's ideas about process, how you make it, how you form it, how you join it, how you put it together, and it's also sculpture models. That's an incredible, very convincing volume. I don't have a lot of questions about it. I'm actually really impressed. I suppose if I've got a question, it's the possibilities of living, that what type of your theoretical discussion, so it became the key, I think that's the key idea. So maybe just tell us more, you already did, but maybe just tell us more explicitly how you think your technology deals with this wonderful idea of
Well, I think the main idea was to just, the women in the mining areas are very affected with violence, abuse, and just not having any opportunities. And so I think what I wanted to do is not keep them in the mindset of this is their life, this is how they're going to stay, that's the road they have to take. Instead, I want to have all of these interactions, all of these classrooms, through the making of art, through experiencing spaces, to just open up their eyes and make them realize that there's something more, and there's a bigger picture out there that would eventually become the possibility for them.
Right, and you, as you said, you've been involved in the construction process.
Yes.
You haven't just invented technology, you've actually created a process of engagement, which I think is really one of the strong aspects of this skill. Yeah, thank you very much.
At your material choices, there's a humble quality to it that I think really speaks to what you are trying to achieve also, which is
Thank you, Jonathan. In at the APM.
Ja, ik ga niet laatste praten. Nou, serendipity. You know about serendipity? When things happen and things happen. Are you aware of what is happening in the world of the Everard this week?
They're having auctions in the road.
The biggest, best, most comprehensive, most revelatory, most biographical auction in all time, it will never happen again, is happening now whilst you are presenting these things.
Wow.
It gives me the chills. It is so magnificent. So please Google Strauss and see what these people painted and the odds that they were up against. And it's multi-generational. It is quite fantastic. In amplification of that, most of you classmates engaged in thesis themes involved with cultural education. And if there's any category of architecture that the world and South Africa needs now, it's cultural education. I love artists' residencies. It is the perfect investment in both heritage, preservation, conservation, legacy, heritage, and future education. And it's also pro-feminine, which I must do. So thank you very much.
There's a lot of wonderful discernment here in understanding what is appropriate to do in a complex site that is a heritage site within a mining area where people are trodden into the floor, that there are more to life, and these Everard women was, I mean, if you read their story, this is exactly the right place to do this kind of thing. These ladies were jet fighter pilots, basically. They were stood bull dealers, you know. They explored life in full. And Janka, this is the kind of thesis where one is exploring life and making and how to uplift other people. And I'll say uplift. I know it's not a PC word, but how to meet people where they are and show them that there is more. Thank you.
Thank you, Ian. Well, we have time, so I was supposed to say anything for 3 days, and it's quite difficult. And I'm not going to keep quiet because I'm the facilitator, so I can give myself the opportunity. Janka, it has been absolute pleasure working with you for the last 2 years. The way that you approach this topic, the very sensitive way of trying to make a difference, is actually very close to a lot of our intent in terms of architecture people. So I think it is spot on, and your capacity of not just absorbing a lot of influence and comments from lecturers over the years astounded us. Mine often tells me, you don't understand your capacity, and then I agree. And it's evident in this room. So congratulations, you did a magnificent job. Very, very well done.
Well, you managed to annoy me once again. You're funny, you're beautiful, you don't take yourself seriously, you can draw, you can paint, you can theorize, you just need to defend me.
Ja, maar dit bring wel so groot verwagtinge van ons almal. Dit moet verder.
I just want to say it was such a pleasure reading your book and the thoughtfulness and attention to detail you put into this. That's just a broad, overpowering comment. And looking at this now, seeing all of it together, it's sort of like like a revolt against the computer, because you're embracing the their way of life and presenting your architecture. It's so nice to see this sort of together, which makes so much sense, because you do get to it in the book, but I think seeing it like that really brings their spirit to life. So I think the way you've chosen your site, I would really take us through the site immediately, and then you jump into the history of the site, which is incredibly fascinating. Do you have any connection to the site specifically, a family connection or anything? Is it?
No, actually not, but there is, we know the person that owns it.
Okay.
So,
because it's just so well researched, and all these photographs. I mean, the access to this. How
the man that owns the Winterfoy farm has many documents, diaries of the Emerald Woman, and then it's just these 2 books that helped me through this whole year.
I thought it was just unbelievable, and also unpacking through their poems and through their art, and how the pictures of them sitting and doing this, just capturing that essence, which is so important for your project. I just thought that was so thorough and so well done, and connecting that to what it looks like now. There's always this feeling of this place that you want to create possibility in. And I think that calling it a possibility pavilion is also very appropriate for your project. I'm thankful Jonathan is here in terms of the theory, because it is thorough. it's a really beautifully written piece, and you know, I don't even know if I can get into the level that you can get into the theory.
I think this is really an excellent thesis, and we can just look to the volume of work and the variety of work, from artistic to conceptual to exploration. That's the key thing here, was exploration, the models, technical drawings, and architectural drawings. So that's incredibly well done. I also feel the book is very, very interesting. It's a long book, fascinating read, and I think it was a very interesting springboard thesis that you discovered this book about this community of women who are artists and how they transform their lives, and yet their legacy has been ruined, and you wanted to respond to that. And so there's a whole chapter which talks about the site, talks about the literature, talks about the art of the artists there, and that was fascinating. I actually thought that was almost enough. But then there was another chapter to go into the emancipation art theory. I thought that was very well researched, very interesting. I want to engage with a few things in the theoretical discussion because it was so interesting. And you quoted this Polish guy, don't quite know how to say that. And his basic idea is that art provokes internal sort of interiority. Art implies that art is inherently hierarchical, and the true appreciation and creation of art are limited to a privileged class. So I thought that was very important as corrected. And then from there, we looked at Christopher on art, revolt, discontent, anxiety, which creates inattention and opens the space for imagination. You know, which I thought was a fantastic theoretical premise for which to work, and what Christie is you point out that politics needs imagination. You know, we live in order politically if we don't have imagination. And yes, internal conflict is very important, and imagination plays a key role in that. I felt that, and then you mentioned Claudio Rancière as well, moving on. Yeah, I thought it was really an extraordinary theoretical discussion. I think what's so important about the design is that you took an incremental, piecemeal, and particular approach. You didn't come into one building. It's a lot of little interventions, and each one speaks to a different possibility, a different imagination, a different way of experiencing the surrounding landscape. But you asked the question around how does your design incorporate elements that evoke introspection and reflection. And I think these little pavilions, which then each get a little time consideration and models, they all answer to that. So I thought that was really a great strategy for, translating your theories. So I think that's really well done. I don't have a question other than, maybe you want to say a little bit more about how your design evokes introspection and reflection. Maybe just repeat one or two places where you think that happens.
Okay. Introspection and reflection. I think mainly. I think in the trading store. I think through the making and having your inner conflicts, that's how Bertha did it. She had these inner conflicts and then she would paint with the brush strokes and it would be these intense colors. So I think through the actual making of the clay or the making of the artworks, I think that is where a lot of reflection, self-reflection will happen, as well as through the main opposed to the vast landscape. I think that's this idea of how man can actually be so small compared to the very vast landscape. And there's that another introspective way, and I think ultimately it challenges you to see possibilities.
Soos die kerkie, soos die tuin, soos die bruidbestaan. Hierso is die kraal, hierso is die roosteibels en hierso is die huis.